I was a long-term 20-year addict. I have 7 kids, and I had a lot of experience in sex work, addiction, um, not really homeless, but yeah, addiction and sex work. I have 2 babies under 2. I'm married and I've been sober for 8 years. Um, and I am a peer worker through lived experience. And I took some time off. I work at a gender-based violence shelter with women and children. As I said, I'm on maternity leave and I try to give back. I just want to help people like myself. I just did it to fit in, to be honest with you. I did it to fit in, and one thing led to another, from smoking weed to cocaine to ecstasy to crack to popping a perk. Um, yeah, I just, one thing wouldn't work, and then you try something different, and then you always have to try something stronger, right? Because you're taking too much of something, or it's just you haven't tried a pill, so you're with a bunch of people who aren't doing lines. You pop a pill to level you out while you're drinking. Um, Pretty much did to fit in at one point. Like at first, they were for pain for my back, and then you'd have a drink, and then you'd pop a perk, and it levels you out, and it feels good. And then when I was pregnant with my second to last one, I stopped. Then I had a C-section, so then they put me on, it was hydromorphs or whatever. And then I did those, but it was so good because the pain would like disappear. Like it was like you were like on air. I'll be honest with you. And then I got pregnant with my second one, like my last one. And then I did it like the first month of my pregnancy, and then I stopped. And then after I had her, um, they gave me the same thing again for my C-section, the pain, and then that was about it. But they give it to you to help you for your pain, and they're not realizing how addictive it is and how you depend on it. It's not like rubbing A535 on your back, or popping two perks, or sorry, popping two Tylenols, or you know. So they don't realize like the prescription drugs are very addictive as well. I just learned to quit cold turkey. The withdrawals were, but I did it. Opioids is nothing like crack or cocaine. It's a physical withdrawal, like the shakes, the shits, the pukes, the dreams. But the dreams comes with all addictions once you're getting clean. But opioids is more physical. It was hard, but it was worth it because now I can help people like myself in the long run. Oh my god, taking opioids during pregnancy is shitty because you feel guilty that you're knocking up your kid with narcotics. And bad enough, I had a long-term crack and coke addiction, and I stopped that, and then I'm starting to do these pills for my back. And then you're pregnant, you feel so guilty doing it, but then you have people like the doctors that look at you like, oh my god, she's doping up her kid with all these opioids, right? People have to be educated as well about what they're giving to a pregnant person. And they don't have to, as I said, they don't realize how addictive prescription drugs are, because people are like, you don't have to take that. You can stop taking them, take half and wean yourself off. Yeah, it's easier said than done when your back is killing you. You have 2 babies under 2 and trying to run around the place. You can barely get up out of bed because your back is killing you. So it takes you like an extra 5 minutes. You just want to pop up out of bed, grab a baby, stick a bottle in their mouth, and like nobody gets it, right? Sometimes it's easier to just pop a pill and deal with the kids, right? But as I said, like I've overcame that battle, like that part of my life, but it wasn't easy because nobody understood. Everyone was quick to judge and make comments and criticize when they didn't know anything that was going on and how you were feeling in your life, right? And sometimes you do it just to cope. Nobody gets it, like how hard it can be one day, right? Or how much pain you might be in. And you're trying all day to go without a pill, but then you get to like midday and you're like, okay, you know what? I did good. I can do one. It's like you reward yourself with one, right? But um, yeah. Now learning strategies to cope before I pick up, that was a thing. It took me a while. But I wish I knew those skills before I had these issues. I'm happy I learned them either way. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people it works for, some people it doesn't. You've got to try to put it in practice as often as you can. The doctors, the nurses, family, right? Like they didn't get it. So I really kept it to myself. A lot of people didn't know except the doctors. My mom one time caught me and she was just like, "What?" She's like, "Why are you doing these?" I'm like, "Because they're prescribed to me." She's like, "Yeah, but you're pregnant. You shouldn't be doing these." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but the doctor prescribed them." After I had my babies and I was taking painkillers and I was breastfeeding. And the nurses were like, "No, when you talk to the doctor, you'll get your pain meds." I'm like, the doctor, though, gave me a prescription every 4 hours to use at the hospital before I left. And sometimes I'd be calling after 4 hours for my medication, and the nurses wouldn't come until like later the next morning. I was in there for 3 days, right? I just think a lot of them looked at you like, you're not Tylenol, right? You don't need the, you don't have to be towards people like us. Like we are people, right? And they shouldn't judge someone's situation if they don't know anything about it or understand it. I just think people need not to be judgmental on people who are in addiction and need to understand and be more compassionate in the situation, whether it's opioids, crack, coke, alcohol, weed, whatever it is. They need to be a little bit more compassionate to the situation and try to understand the individual and what's led them to where they are. Because not everyone thinks, okay, hey, I'm going to be a coke addict. I'm going to be a pill addict. I'm going to be, you know what I mean? Nobody in their life wants to become that, right? It's some unfortunates you have in your life. You turn to these things that it's easier to cope with under the influence, not realizing how bad it can be in the long run, right? Is getting addicted. And one day I actually went to this place called Regeneration. And I went to one of my counselors and I told her I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired and I want my life to change. I want to get clean. And she looked at me and she's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I want to do it now." Like I want to do it like years ago. She's like, "Okay." She's like, "Are you sure?" So I went through this process of going into King County, Canada for women. And it was a year rehab. It was actually like a Bible boot camp, to be honest with you. It was literally a Bible boot camp. And long story short, I went there. I did 13 months. But before that program, I did 30 days with 10 days break. And then I did 13 months. And that's my life just changed after that. It wasn't easy. It was as hard as you made it, or it was as hard as you made it seem it was. But I did it. I enjoyed doing it. And my life is how it should have been. It's better off saying I got it done instead of saying that I haven't got it done and I ended up like a lot of my friends, right? So as long as I got it done, it doesn't matter how long it took, I still got it done. And it's okay. People need to understand there's no time limit. As long as you work hard to accomplish it and to do it. And when you go through that process, you need to dig deep. You need to dig deep. You can't just work on the surface. You have to work on what's inside the surface for it to work. I work on it every day. My social workers, I switched to doctor, my counselors, um, addiction counselors, harm reduction workers, outreach workers, to let you know that you're not alone and you're not the only one there struggling, right? And it's great to have outreach workers and harm reduction workers. So, like with those people in my life, it's changed a lot the way I look at society as well, right? Like, I just have to think of it like people are uneducated. That's why they make the comments they make, and that's why they look at you the way they look at you because they don't know better. to be more confident, not to run to drugs, and take one step at a time and breathe, that everything will work out. Life isn't perfect. You do have good days and you do have bad days. Some more than others, but you know what? If you had a perfect life, your life would be fake. You're loved and it's okay. Don't be hard on yourself, right? Find a support system that you can talk to, work through, and that can support you. We're not all bad people. We make bad choices, but we're not all bad people.